In an earlier episode, we shared about how a group of 6-year-olds who were brainwashed by the CCP mocked and criticized Trump. There are also children in China who are doing forced labor work. Someone said, "This is a Uyghur child picking cotton. His parents are locked in a concentration camp." Someone said, "I once helped pick cotton when I was young. It is indeed an extremely tiring job. I had to deliver the cotton to the village and sell them at a very cheap price." Someone shared, "I originally worked for a company that imports Chinese clothing, but I recently resigned because I can't accept the fact that it sells Chinese slave labor products." Relative to these children, it seems that the Uyghur child's situation is not the worst. This is an elderly lady in the 80s. Recently at the UN General Assembly, Beijing represented 26 countries and criticized the US and other Western countries for human rights violations. Someone said, "I dare not go to any of these 26 countries." Someone suggested the UN should be dissolved and undergo an organizational reform. These 26 countries, along with Russia and PRC, should be separated from the other members. This is Zhang Jun, the PRC ambassador to the UN. At the general debate of the Third Committee of the 75th session of the UN General Assembly, he said, "China's achievements in human rights development are widely recognized and not to be denied by your lies and deception." China's adoption of effective measures to combat terrorism, safeguard national security, and promote economic and social development is firmly supported by all Chinese people and can stand the test of time in history. Someone said, "Just plan a visit to the State Bureau of Letters and Calls. You will see crowds of ordinary people seeking to petition the government for a redress of grievances." After decades of persistent efforts, their problems still have not been resolved. Someone said, "I have seen these people ever since I was little. Now I am already a middle-aged man. The same scene can still be seen in front of the office of the State Bureau of Letters and Calls." In fact, as early as 2013, the Chinese Academy of Sciences recognized that 80% of China's medical investment is for party and government officials. It can be seen in the picture that all the trash cans have been locked. Someone wondered if this was done to prevent homeless people from looking for leftovers in them. Someone said, "In communist China, people are leading very difficult lives." Those people who want to do business on the streets to make a living are also being targeted by the CCP's law enforcement officers who claimed their mission is protecting the lives and property of the people. Therefore, someone concluded, those criticizing and seeking to expose the dark side of the government and bureaucratic process would be arrested. Too many elderly people have no access to medical care, shelters, or any other kind of living support. At the same time, China has the largest number of corrupt officials and the largest amount of briberies. The crime rate among party officials is also the highest in the world.
86岁，86岁了。
This elderly lady is 86-year-old now.
走了，不忙事就是了。他说该死了，不知道。麻烦也走吧。
She said, I should die now. I don't know why I am still alive.
如果俺吃早饭，做饭的时候弄那个的时候，他都很累。
She said, I feel tired even when cooking. This was front page news in People's Daily on October 5th of 1998. Beijing's representative Qin Huasun signed the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights on behalf of the Chinese Communist government at the UN headquarters. Qin also said that realizing human rights is the common ideal of all mankind. It is also the long-term goal of the Chinese government. However, now 22 years have passed, and the CCP's People's Congress still has not ratified it. Someone wondered, what is the CCP still waiting for? Someone said perhaps it never intended to pass it, but promised so because it was bidding to become a host for the Olympic Games. This picture shows the leaders of the US, India, Japan, and Australia standing together. It was said that the Indo-Pacific Alliance against the CCP will be formed with the goal of safeguarding a free and open Indo-Pacific. Someone said the maritime transport lines between China and Africa and Europe may be affected. Taiwan's Legislative Yuan unanimously passed 2 resolutions proposed by Kuomintang calling for U.S. military aid in combating aggression by the CCP and a resumption of diplomatic relations between the U.S. and Taiwan. It was said that a draft amendment to the national security law was also proposed a few years ago. It has passed first read. The draft stipulates that waving the 5-star red flag in Taiwan may be fined 50,000 new Taiwan dollars. Someone wondered, what about those that sing pro-Beijing songs or act as an agent for the CCP? Someone shared a video which shows well-known Hong Kong actor Kevin Ling waving the red flag and shouting happy birthday to the motherland, long live the motherland. In addition to the US tightening restrictions on Chinese students, citing national security concerns, the UK and Japan are also introducing policies to address the same issue. The UK government has indicated that it will exempt a large number of Chinese students from pursuing defense-related courses. Reports also show that hundreds of Chinese postgraduate students will be banned from studying sensitive subjects in Britain. The Chinese media sarcastically commented, Chinese students can only study Shakespeare in the UK. Outspoken Hong Kong actor Anthony Wong believes that even Shakespeare will not be allowed to be studied, not by the UK but by the CCP, because there are too many rebellious ideas and content in his works. Someone said, it would not be surprising if this happens, given the CCP has already banned Beethoven's Ode to Joy. It was reported that Malaysia is currently banning foreign students from entering the country. About 15,000 Chinese students are affected. It was said that during the October 1st so-called National Day holiday period in mainland China, the number of people who entered Hong Kong in the first 3 days were 93, 154, and 186. A total of 433 people came to Hong Kong. Compared with the same holiday period in 2019, the number of people that entered Hong Kong from the mainland reached 600,000. In 2018, the number was 1.5 million. It was said that during the October 1st so-called National Day holiday period, a strange phenomenon that has never occurred since the Chinese Communist Party's establishment occurred. The Chinese consulates all over the world held celebrations, but only Serbian president attended the reception of the Chinese embassy in his country. No government officials from other countries attended such events hosted by Chinese embassies in their respective countries, nor did any official send congratulatory messages. At the reception held by the CCP's State Council, none of the CCP's previous Politburo Standing Committee members was in attendance. This situation has never occurred since the CCP took power.
Child, we will take you in. Child, we will bring you home. You'll be a flower that sees the spring. Soon a dove flying high